Alright class, so this is digital day number 32. It's also the second day of your final exam review. Now make sure you are doing each of these final exam reviews because it will help you bring up your grade and it'll also help you on your final. Alright, let's talk about number one. So I'm going to do all the notes and all the work here, and then you have to go and answer the questions on your own. Okay? Alright, number one. We want to look for a non-linear function. Okay, so something, whatever, pretty much let's do the opposite. What is linear, right? Let's think about what linear functions are. A linear function is anything that makes a straight line, and it looks like this. Y equals x, or what we commonly use, y equals mx plus b. But here, the key is, this x is this x has no exponent. Okay, there is an x and there's no exponent. Okay, and that's the most important part. If x has an exponent, for example, x to the third power, or even when x is in the denominator, like this, okay, or when x is in the exponent, like this, all of these are nonlinear. The only time a function is linear is if x has no exponent. Okay, so for example, y equals 2x is linear. Y equals 1 over 3x is linear. Y equals negative 2x minus 3 is linear. Even numbers like y equals 5 is linear. Okay, so all of these examples down here are linear, and these three examples at the top are not. Okay, so look at your answer choices and figure out which one of these is non-linear. Okay, moving on. Let's do number 2. The slope of a line is negative 3, and the y-intercept is 0, 4. Okay, so we have a slope of negative 3, and the y-intercept is 0, 4. What is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form? Okay, there's your clue right there. Slope-intercept form means y equals mx plus b. Okay, now remember, your slope, my tools keep disappearing. Okay, let's put this over here. Okay, slope is m. Oops. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. Sorry, guys. That is very odd. Anyway, slope is m, and the y-intercept is b. Now when we do the y-intercept, you only need this number here, the y. Okay? So y equals, replace the m, blank, x, plus blank. Okay, so we're filling in, if my tools want to stay shown, anyway, fill in these two blanks with the numbers up here. Okay, watch the signs. Look at your answer choices. They all look very, very similar. Okay. Okay, hopefully I fixed it. Let's go to number 3 now. Which of these sets of ordered pairs would define a line with negative slope? Okay, so number 3. And you see on your question it says slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, you have these points, and you're going to decide, well, which is x1, x2, y1, and y2. So, let's do, I'm going to do the first one. So, 5, 5, and 0, 1. So all of this should be done on paper, or just any sheet of paper with a pencil, marker, pen, whatever you want to use. Okay, first thing to do is label. x, y, x, y. Since 5, 5 came first, let's put that as our 1s, x1, y1. And since 0, 1 it came second, let's use those as our 2s. So then now plug this into your equation. y2 is 1 minus y1 is 5. Well, x2 is 0, so we'll put that down here, minus x1 is 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. We have 1, take 5 away, you're left with negative 4. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. Now if you look, you have negative over negative, which means that's positive, and 4 over 5 does not simplify, so we leave it as 4 over 5. Now the question asks you for a negative slope, but after simplifying, this is a positive slope, right? Because it's a positive number. Do not let this fool you, okay, just because there's a negative here. Negative over negative is a positive. So that means A is not the correct answer. Okay, this is incorrect. Okay, so let me see if I can write that here. A, B, C, D. Okay, A is incorrect. Alright, so that means you can try the other three on your own and figure out which one gives you a negative number. Alright, number 4. Identify the slope and the y-intercept for the linear function below. Now, we did that already in question number 2, right? Y equals mx plus b. M is slope, y-intercept is b. So now it's asking you to go backwards. It gives you an equation, then it asks you to find the slope and the y-intercept. Right? Now, here are your numbers, so this is what we're going to focus on. Notice I'm actually also highlighting that negative. Okay, that negative goes with it. So you decide what's your slope and what's your y-intercept. Okay. Alright, number 5. So this kind of goes back to that first question we did. What is linear and what is not linear? Okay. Now, if you look, you can automatically tell which of these is linear just by looking at the graph. But let's make sure that this table isn't. Now, when you have an x and y table, let's say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a linear function changes by the same amount at each step. So let's say that's 3, that's 6, that's 9, 12, and 15. If you notice, 3, to get from 3 to 6, that's plus 3. 6 to 9, plus 3. 9 to 12, plus 3. 12 to 15, plus 3. Okay, we're adding 3 each time, and this right here is the clue to say that it is a linear function. Okay, now so let's look at our table here. -2, 0, 2, 4. Now, technically this is okay on the x side because this has a pattern too. +2, +2, +2. Well, let's look here. This is -4, this is +4, and this is +12. Well, that doesn't work based on our what I showed you up here. I should write this down. This is linear. All right. So since the idea where you're adding by the same number or even subtracting by the same number does not work here, this function is non-linear. Okay. So now that I eliminated one of these for you, you decide between A and C which equation or which function is linear. All right, number 6. What is the equation of the linear function below? So you have a graph And let me see if I can copy that over. Alright, here we go. Ta-da! Copied. Now, we want to find the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is somewhere here on the y-axis, wherever this line touches the y-axis. So I know that's right here, and that's -2. Then, to find the other point, I want to find a good point. Okay. Now, if you look closely, okay, the second good point is right here. Now, if you notice, and if you kind of tell already, I made a mistake on this quiz because I put 2/3 instead of 2/5 or 5/2. Because look, that tricked me right there because I made the picture so small on my screen. I actually thought it was 3. So that's why it's very important to watch carefully and to look closely to see where that good point is. So now I have to do rise over run. Okay, so I'm going to go up, and each line I cross, that's one count. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, we want to be on the same level as this point. So that's 3. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so slope is rise over run. This is my rise. This is my run. Okay, so my rise is 3. My run is 5. So that's my slope. And you have your y-intercept. Now all you have to do is make your equation. Okay, now if you're watching this video before you take the quiz, by the time you take the quiz, all of these will be fixed. Okay, so I apologize for that. And this is number 6. Alright, last one. Jennifer's bank account is modeled by the following equation, where x equals the number of weeks, y equals the total balance. So y is our balance, x is weeks. Okay, so balance meaning how much money she has. This is so hard to write on. Okay, and then x is the number of weeks. And I realized I wrote this wrong. That should be 45. Okay, how much money was in Jennifer's account when it was opened? So we want to know how much she originally had. Okay, in other words, we are looking for, whoops, not there. We are looking for initial value. Now remember, initial value is the same as your y-intercept. So by looking at this equation, decide how much money did she originally have. Alright, so that's the end of this quiz and this video. Please remember to answer the questions online. That way you get your credit and it'll go as your mastery. If you do not do it, then you lose your chance at extra credit. And you'll have to do another assignment or your final exam to make up your old grades. Okay, remember this is applying to everything that we did second semester. If you have any questions, there is a Zoom session at 12 o'clock today. Please make sure to join and we'll go over both units, Unit 6 and Unit 7, so I can help you through each of the practice quizzes. Okay? Alright, let me know if you have any questions and I'll talk to you later.